Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and hope you all are doing well and staying safe. Thank you for joining me today. And we are going to host this webinar on behalf of Autodesk Community India. And I'm very happy to give a presentation on how Fusion 360 can be used for designing your dream products. So let me share my screen with you to start the presentation. And along with me, we have Rishabh and Bharat who are actually organizing this webinar. And also thanks to Varun Heta from Autodesk for making this possible. Okay, so let's see how Fusion 360 can be a one-stop solution for taking your dream product from idea to manufacturing, right? So as I said, this is being conducted by Autodesk Community India. So please be part of this group so that we all can together learn many things and also share our knowledge regarding many other Autodesk products. So this is the objective of my presentation. So first of all, we are going to see how we can download the free Fusion 360 version using your student ID. And then I'll walk you through different workspaces available in Fusion 360. Then we will also see how cloud saving helps us save our files so that they do not occupy our drive space. So all the files in Fusion 360, we can store them in Autodesk Server. Next, we are also going to see the difference between top-down and bottom-up assemblies, which many times you might have heard of these terms, but let us see what they are and how they are going to help us in better assembling the products. Finally, we'll be seeing the different resources from where you can learn about the Autodesk Academy and other things. So let's start this. A brief introduction about me. I'm Sirisha Shashikant, and I'm a specialist mechanical working at CGI Simulations Private Limited. I'm an Autodesk Expert Elite member and also a postgraduate in production engineering. So that's about me. Moving on, please be attentive as we are going to have 4 more questions coming up in this webinar. And all those questions will be related only to the content that I'm going to share with you. So that it's just to make you focus on how we can actually design using Fusion 360 so that you can take some inspiration from this webinar and start designing your own dream products. So Fit is a carpenter and he's a passionate woodworker. So he loves to prepare material, anything using wood, whether it is cupboards, chairs, anything. So he has his twin children, Bit and Git, who also always loved their father's work. So they took first year, they are right now in the first year of engineering and they want to explore new tools. So one day when they went with their father to fix some nuts and bolts at their client's place, they found something interesting, or you can say disgusting, because they didn't really like the tool. Let's gift it to him on his birthday. And they wanted to use, of course, they always knew the woodworking, how it is made and how these things are done. But they wanted to use advanced tools like CAD/CAM, etc., and surprise their father. So they went and saw that these are the different things that are available. Some other material they collected, and they were ready to go. Now the question is where to start. So they went to their professor and they asked him and they told him that we want to do some very good woodworking project. So he suggested that Fusion 360 is a tool that they can download. But they were actually skeptical whether they would be able to afford a software to design this. But as you know, or even if you do not know, this is the time to know that Autodesk Fusion 360 is a free tool for students. And this is the link which you can use and you can download the software. So Fusion 360 is a completely free tool when you're going to use your student ID. So just give your student ID and you will be able to download it onto your system, and wherever you are, whether you're at your college or whether you're at any other place, you will be able to completely use the software without any watermarks or anything that you're thinking of. You can completely learn the software and start using it for designing your products. So let me show you how the screen of Fusion 360 is going to look. Okay, so in this screen, you can see that I'm actually using a commercial license. So when I started with a free license only. Then after I started designing products, then I purchased a commercial version. So you can really start using the free version right now. And in this, we have many workspaces. So these workspaces, when I change, you can see the tools above will be changing, right? So here I have generative design. This is because generative design is a part of the commercial one. Students might be having access to it or not, but here you can see the other ones like render tool workspace, animation workspace, and simulation. So as we go on the webinar, I'm going to explain you the different workspaces that are available. Okay. So let's come back to our presentation and let's see what Git and Bit are going to do. Now the problem is, where do they start? So you know that anything should start from an idea. So basically they can draw something on paper, right? So they started drawing on a paper and they took a 30-day challenge. So within 30 days, they had to learn the software. So after learning the software, they should be proficient enough to design their own toolkit, right? So this is a brief thing that they have drawn with pencil. This is based on the old toolkit that they had, and now they're going to make a new one and also keep changing the dimensions, etc. on the go, because now they'll be using the software rather than doing everything after cutting the wood. It's better to do it on a software to decrease the waste. So first of all, Fusion 360 has a design workspace where you will be able to design or you will be able to 3D model the objects. So first of all, we need a 2D sketch and which we are going to extrude. And let me tell you, for many woodworking projects, Fusion 360 is one of the best solutions. The reason is its interface is very, very easy to use and there are limited options so that they are not too confusing for others who do not need so many other options, in fact. So as a student, I'm sure you will not be confused. Nothing will be overwhelming. It has very cool colors also. So you can see here, I'll be able to create and modify the tools. Now, to start, first of all, we need to save our files. So we all know that whether it's in Microsoft Word, Microsoft Paint, everything we need to first save. So let us see how to save our files in Fusion 360. So what they did is they went to the data panel, they took up a new project. So after clicking the new project, they named their file as Superhit Toolkit because that's what they wanted their toolkit to be. And they created a new project. Creating as a new project is just as creating a new folder. So when I double click that, all the files that I'm going to now create will be saved in this folder. Whether any panels I'm going to create, etc., all will be saved in this folder. So now, let me tell you one more important thing. Whatever now you have seen, that is going to be saved in the cloud. What I mean is in the Autodesk server, it's going to be saved. So it will not be saved to your laptop or desktop, wherever you're working, any workstation and all. So all these files you can access from anywhere. Like right now you're doing your work at college. After you go home, and again, when you open your Fusion 360 account, there also your files will be available. So that is the advantage. You can work from anywhere. Okay. So next, let us see how to start designing. So first, you have seen the brief sketch that they have done. And Here again, you can start sketching your center rectangle because we are going to create the bottom panel. We can give dimensions to this. And just with one command, I'm going to convert this 2D to 3D, which is called the extrude. So extrude tool itself is my favorite tool because it can do so many things. And when it comes to woodworking, this is probably the only tool. Only with this tool, you can do so many things. So I just need to give the thickness. And it's also very easy to make changes to whatever we are doing. So if if I give some thickness, it is showing some image. So I get an estimate of the ratio. If I do not like it, I can go back. I can just double click that extrude button because I need it more thicker so that the bottom panel is much like stronger because it has to carry all the tools. So here I'm going to change the dimension. Like I've made it 30. So I can keep changing this way. And now I have to save this file, right? I will also be able to change the sketches if I want. So proceeding, we can see that after this, they can also create their side panels. So now we have created the bottom panel, right? Similarly, they can also create the left side panel and right side panel. Again, for this, the dimensions are based on what they had thought of, which can of course be changed. So if you see here, again, one panel is ready. So I'm going to save this in the Superhit. You can see that that is a default location now because I had made that as a current folder. So in that, I have saved the left side panel. Now right side panel will be exactly the same. So the same file I'm going to save as right side plank. Right? So now all my files have been saved in cloud, right? So I have three parts now, the bottom, the left, and the right. So before proceeding further to create the other two planks, I would like to go for assembly, right? So in the assembly, we have two kinds of assembly. One is bottom-up assembly and the other is top-down assembly. So if we already have parts with us, like in this example, you can see that I have bottom plank, I had side, and also I have the side planks. So all together, I'm going to assemble. So let's see how we can do that. First of all, I need to take a new file and save this file as an assembly file. So I'm going to keep the name as same like the folder name. It's just the Superhit Toolkit. You can see it is also being saved in the same folder. Now I can bring all other parts into this and then I can start assembling. So the first part that I'm going to bring in is the bottom plank. So here I'm going to click on insert into current space and then I'll be getting this. In the same way, I can bring others also. Okay. And then I need to properly align them. So first one I have grounded. What grounded means is now I will not be able to move that part, but the other parts I'll be able to move so that other parts I'm going to restrict based on the grounded part. So here I have used the joins command to join these two parts. Okay, so they look a little bit same because I have chosen the right points, but I need to move this a little bit ahead. So I can either do it dynamically from the image or I can also give a distance. So to be precise, I can give this distance 15 mm because I know that this plank has a thickness of 30 mm. So in the same way, I can also assemble the right side plank. So now you can see here, I have assembled the right side plank also. Now, as we have discussed, there is something called as top-down assembly also, right? So what top-down assembly means is I have the assembly ready with me, and in that I'm going to add new components. So I'm not going to create the components and then bring them to assembly, but if I have an assembly, based on my assembly, I'm going to create. For example, we can consider that I'm designing a container, right? So the cap of the container, I do not know prior to that and how much the dimensions will be. Let's suppose because I have just created it on the go. Then I can first keep that container, and based on the container's dimensions, I'm going to create the lid of the container. So in the same way, there are two other panels, right? So those two panels I'm going to create within the assembly itself. So I can just right click this assembly and I'll say new component. So I'll say it's a small side plank one, right? So now I have this part over here. And using the existing dimensions of the side planks, now I'm going to project those sketches onto this part, and then I'm going to construct this panel. So if you've seen previously, I had made sketches independently. With respect to the origin, you can say I have given the dimensions, but here I'm only going to use the existing panels, and with their sketches, I'm going to create this component. So I have drawn a construction line, and I want an arc or a spline I have taken, which has to be symmetric about that line. So I have constructed a center line. Now they want to be a little bit artistic. So they have taken the spline, and I'm going to mirror this option, then click OK. Then click on Finish Sketch. Right, so now you can see I'm able to extrude it, and my panel is ready. So it looks exactly like how I had created it independently, and then I have brought it here. I'm not looking at assembling it right now because we will not be able to cover everything. So in the same way, I can create the other part also. So I can just look at this. So I have also created the other panel. And then now we need to create a rod so that we can hold it. So for that, first of all, we can create the rod and then make holes in these components. So together, you can see how I have created this holes. And then I'm going to extrude it. And we are going to get something like this, you know. So, but you can see here that this rod should be going inside them. So I hope you are clear with the concepts of bottom up and top down assembly. So we have the assembly at the top, just to remember, okay, and the parts at the bottom. So when you have the assembly, and from the assembly, when you're coming down to prepare those parts, and then we are going to build the parts, then it's called the top down assembly. And with the bottom up assembly, you already have the parts. And from those parts, you're going to build the assembly. So we know that the tool kit is ready, but definitely it's looking very boring, right? So we can add colors to it, textures to it, and also create photorealistic images in Fusion 360. So this module of Fusion 360 is called the render module. Okay, so now Bit is very good at sketching and dimensioning. Git is very good at using the 3D tools, but they have another friend called Rit who will be helping them with render. So they all thought of teaming up. Okay, so they thought, how can they share these files which Git and Bit have actually designed, right? So it's very easy to share the files in Fusion 360, and only because of this feature, I'm sure Fusion 360 is very collaborative tool, because you have seen that all the files are being saved in the cloud. So what you can do is, so Rit's help has been taken for rendering. Okay, let me show you how you can do that. So now you can see here, this is my Fusion, right? So here when I go into the data panel, right? So I can see all my files that have been saved in tools. So here in the Superhit toolkit that I have prepared, what I can do is I can go to people and add their mail IDs. Right now, I'm the only one, okay, but I can add other people's mail IDs with which they have signed into Fusion 360, and I can bring them to this project. So that is how they brought Rit inside their project, and he has actually helped them. So let me show how he has actually, right. So he has actually made this look something like real wooden one. But let me tell you, render workspace in Fusion 360 is a very strong one, which many students actually love this space, because you can create very photorealistic images, something like this, which I have taken from the gallery, Autodesk gallery. So that is a place where you can get inspired by, there are very good renderings available. And here you can see it just looks like a photograph. So you can use the render space to render it. Next comes the animation workspace. In the animation workspace, we have the tools to prepare animations of our assemblies. That is how we are going to assemble it and how to disassemble it. Okay. So for example, I'm not going to cover how to do it, but I can just show you what they have done for showing how the assembly happens. So you can see I've created a video which I can post to YouTube or any other place also by publishing. So while you're publishing, you will not be able to see these below tools of storyboard, etc. Only your component will be shown. So if you have a wonderful assembly, you can make the animation of it and then post it to your social media also, those videos. So this is how the animation workspace helps us. So next is the drawing. So why do we actually need this drawings is manufacturers even today, if you're going to any manufacturing people, if it is not automated, like directly, if they're not being 3D printed or anything, they understand only the drawing language. So drawing is a very good language that has been created for engineers to understand each other's work. So you can see how easily I can create drawings for this. So I can go to the drawing module from here itself, and then I can select. Okay, so this is my drawing workspace. So here I have many tools for creating the drawings. So first of all, I'm going to place this toolbar, and then so you can see how easily I can project those views and create side view, top view, and all. This you might have created using so many other options in AutoCAD and even using your drafter, but it is so easy. If you have a 3D model, you can very easily create its drawings in Fusion 360. I'm also able to create the bill of materials, which means the material, whatever is there, all these things can be shown in this bill of materials. So the parts that are involved. So I'll also be able to show this as a real image, right? So, and if you see all the workspaces that you have seen right now, okay, they are interlinked because they are all on one software. So now I'm going to change the material. You can see there you have seen the bill of materials that everything is made of steel, right? So because you have given only the appearances, that is its texture you have given as wood, but here the material has to be changed to wood. So here I can use this option and I'm going to click this, just drag it, and to the whole assembly, this part can be added. Okay, so you can see that when I save this file, now you know that this file has been created using, the drawing has been created using this file. So you will be able to see, sorry, I'm saying that same thing again as me. Yeah. So you can see that here, when I open one blank sheet and I'm going to change the material of this. Okay, when I update it here in the drawing, everything will be updated because all these things, the base is going to be the same. So let's move to drawing worksheet. So here when I'm updating it, you can see whatever changes I have made in the model, all of them will be updated. So here you can see the bottom plank material is cherry. For the whole assembly also, you will be able to make the changes. So now after making this toolkit, right, they have done till dimensioning and also they have, excuse me, done the drawings, etc. So now they are ready to manufacture it. So they now start cutting the wood in their house and start making the toolkit. And also there is an important module in Fusion 360 that is called the manufacturing. So if you're using either a 3D printing or even laser cutting instead of the traditional woodworking tools, you can directly generate code for all the material or for all the planks that you have just now seen, right? And a G code, etc., will be generated for engine parts or whatever it is, even for CNC machining in this module. So this module will help you for automatic manufacturing codes also. So you can directly link that code to the machine and your part will be ready. So to brief you about what we have learned, right? First of all, we started with an idea. Then we got uh, got in touch with Fusion 360 and we collaborated with people when we did not know how to do it. Then along and with everybody, we made this present to their father possible. So let's just think in your mind, like what idea of yours can change someone's life. So every product has a purpose. So also we all as kids have many ideas. So as we grow up, I think we feel that someone else uses some like tools, then we don't need to create those tools, but as engineers or as designers, we need to think in terms of the products that we can create and we can change someone's life. So just keep thinking about all these products and start using this software. So don't be afraid of failures. Cost of being wrong is less than cost of doing nothing. So just don't be afraid of trying out new products and start learning the software. And I would really recommend the software because the learning curve of the software is very low. It's very easy to learn the interface, etc. And in the same platform, you will be able to simulate it also. Like I did not share all those details because it would be too much more. If at all you have already know about the software. Uh, you will be able to understand that you'll also be able to analyze the products, that is, simulate the products for thermal analysis or any other analysis that you want to do for their strength. Let's suppose in our case, we had a toolkit, right? So we can apply loads onto the toolkit and see how strong it is. Right now, it's like they're going to use only Fevicol. I didn't make any joints. So they're only going to stick, but I can simulate it in the real um, access the simulation workspace of Fusion 360 and see how strong that toolkit is. And also there are many other extensions, like you can design enclosures, you can have PCBs. So IoT projects also you can do in Fusion 360. And also be a part of this community so that we all can learn together, share our knowledge. And if you have any doubts, you can get them cleared. And you can also probably find somebody who can share the same ideas that you have, and you all can together work on any project. So in the next session, that is coming Tuesday, we are going to see how parametric design in Fusion 360 saves time. So for the same toolkit that we have designed in this webinar, okay, I'm going to show you how you can change the dimensions easily. Let's suppose this toolkit that you have created is for their father. Now, how to create it for their little sister who wants to just play and keep all her toys there, right? So you can, how easily you can do it using the parametric design. So please attend the next session to understand how easily you can make the changes. Now, I request you also to take the challenge of learning the software. So by the next session, all the participants, I request you to try designing your toolkit, and whatever images that you're going to send to us, right? So that we will be sharing on this webinar page. Okay, when our next webinar is going to be there, that page we will be, that point we will be sharing. So that email ID will be shared in the chat box. I think I've missed it in the slide. So Bharat, can you share the email ID where you can actually submit your designs, which can be featured in the next webinar? Okay, so these are the resources which will help you in learning Fusion 360, academy.autodesk.com, and some inspiration also you can get from gallery.autodesk.com. Academy.autodesk.com I especially recommend because it shows you the practical way of designing a product in the real world, how you can take a product and then start designing in Fusion 360. These are some paid courses which have been prepared by me. If you are interested, you can have a look into that. And without these things, this presentation wouldn't have been possible. So thanks to all these resources. So now it's a question time. Okay, so please put in your question and answers. Please let me know the questions.
How Fusion 360 is better than SolidWorks?
See, I won't say it is better than or it is worse than. This is one tool and that is another tool. That's it. This is just one tool. We can never say compare two software, just like how you can't compare two people, right? Each person has their own right traits. So similarly, SolidWorks is SolidWorks and Fusion 360 is Fusion 360. You start using it, then probably you will be able to find what is better in this and how this can be your mode. Or if you want, you can still use SolidWorks. But only thing I feel is this is a free to use software for students. So if you start from here, it'll be easier for you. But I don't have anything against SolidWorks. So both of them are just tools. So you can start using both of them. So here you please understand that the important thing is your design. Your product is the important thing. Software is not as important as the tool that that object that you are trying to design. So whichever software you feel comfortable, please use it and start designing your product. So I want to inspire you to make your products. That is the most important thing. Software, I won't I don't have anything to comment. I use Fusion 360, so I have told you how this works. That's it.
Next one is there version control like Inventor Professional?
No, actually, Fusion 360 always you'll be working on the latest version only because it's a cloud-based software. So whenever any software updates are going to happen, it will get updated because you'll be always connected to the cloud while you're working in Fusion 360. Maybe just a few minutes difference will be there, but you'll always be working on the latest version of Fusion 360.
Yes, but also I would like to add one thing. We can
Yeah,
always shift back to the version we saved previously.
right. That's right. Yeah. So some other question I can see over here.
How
How
easy it is to
yeah.
transition from AutoCAD to Fusion?
Yeah. So it's very easy. In fact, you just download and see. Um, if you have worked on a 2D software, 3D software will be like very, very inspiring or encouraging for you to do more because 2D softwares are much difficult. It's like, you have, you can say you have your ordinary phone, Nokia phone, and now you are going to use a smartphone. So definitely smartphone would be much easier to use. So if you are already worked on AutoCAD, this is going to be a breeze. You can really start working on that because the way you make the changes and all, and you can see everything in 3D. So visualizing in 3D is definitely more easier than visualizing something in 2D. So you should try the software and you will really like the speed with which you can design the things when compared to a 2D software. So can you download Autodesk CFD? I'm sorry, I do not have any knowledge regarding this. So how we can render video of project for presentation work? So can we unmute him? I did not like understand the question. What would you like to render? Actually, you have any object? Yeah. So yeah.
Hello,
Yeah. Hello. Please.
Yes, please.
ma'am. Ma'am, actually, we have created the animated video of disassembling of the parts. So
Okay.
can we create like that the same thing for presentation work?
Yes. Yes. That means your object has been presented in. I mean, modeled in Fusion 360. Is that so?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So definitely, if you have created it in Fusion 360 in the animation module, you will be able to record it, publish it as a video that you
Okay,
can
ma'am.
post it anywhere. So I can just show you if that, because we have some time, I can
Ma'am
just,
already showed a small sample of it.
sorry.
Okay.
You already showed a sample of
Yeah. Yes, I'll just
disassembling
show
the
you.
toolkit.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
So that file I can just show you, share, and I'll show you how to publish it.
Okay, ma'am.
So 1 second. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, so go to the animation module, and because I have already created this,
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So just go to, you can see when I run my presentation, it's showing like this, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this when I publish, okay, the storyboard I can publish.
Okay.
Then when I say okay, you can save it as ABI.
Okay, ma'am.
So this will be like directly, it will be saved onto your cloud or even to your download thing. So
Okay,
this
ma'am.
video you can directly post to YouTube or you can keep it in PowerPoint or anywhere. Okay.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
now let me just show you because we have some time we have. Sorry, I'm not able to share this video with you, but definitely it has been saved as AVI. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. No problem.
So, right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Scope of this software in future.
Yes, definitely. I see a lot of scope for this software, mainly because of its collaborative tools. See, the way like during the pandemic, every one of us have been you working from home, right? So let's see the advantages that we had as students. Let's say if your lecturer is in some place, he was teaching you online Fusion 360, or he had given you a design project, right? So just like in the webinar we have seen, we could have been located in different places, but still we could be working on the same project. This is also true if we have any startup, like they have people in US, they have people in any other country, also in India, and then we are trying to collaborate. So this is the biggest strength of the software. And we are all trying to work with using cloud systems, so that the data sharing becomes very easy for us. So that is the biggest advantage I feel Fusion has. And the other thing that I like about it is it works on subscription model. There might be some other software, but I'm just talking about Fusion 360. So if you're not using it, like currently you have a project, you have a startup, say you have a startup and currently you have a project, you're paying for it. If you do not have the current ability to afford this software, you can stop subscribing to it. Then you can again subscribe to it when you have a project. So you're not going to buy the complete software. You're going to on demand. It's only like on demand, you're going to use the software. And the same software, you can do multiple things, like doing the animation, doing the rendering, doing the manufacturing code, 3D printing, everything using the same tool you're going to do. So I feel these all things make it really very promising future it has for the software and also for the design industry. And also the latest generative design capabilities that they're bringing in, Autodesk is bringing into Fusion 360 is going to be kind of a game changer. Very big firms are now adapting to Fusion 360 for its generative design capabilities. So that's a bit advanced topic for today's webinar. So probably if you are interested, you can post it to us. Someone else also can make a webinar if you're interested to know.
And being
Yes.
a student in this pandemic, I've experienced that we and final year student, we had to make physical models of projects and all. But the faculties told us that in the pandemic you cannot go to the market and do the research work and all. So it is better that you design your models in CAD software. And being in different locations, Fusion 360 helped us a lot to collaborate and work on the same project at the same time.
Yes. So Rishabh is saying real time experience. So he had a real working experience on that. So,
Another question is, can we transfer model from one software to another CAD software?
yes, you can. So I'll just share my screen and I'll show you how you can do that. You're able to see the screen, right? So right now I'm in the design module. So when I go to save as, you can see I'll be able to save it in the cloud. So from there, I can share the link also, right? So this is actually part of the collaboration that you can see. So here, just this link, if I'm going to share, I can open it in a browser and see how this component is going to look in 3D, right? So other than this, they can download that part also onto their system, and then they will be able to open it. And you will also be able to, like, where is yeah, so here you can see there's an export option, right? So in the export option, you can convert it into all these files. And then you can use it for 3D printing or any other information if you want to take it to Mesh Mixer and other software also, you will be able to do it. So just a format you need to select, and then you will be able to export it. So here you have multiple options here also in the export. So Inventor and all, they both will be naturally very friendly to open. But whenever you're taking one from one software to other, you have to remember that the way this what you call the timeline on how it has been designed from start, this history will be lost usually. So first I did the extrude part, then I did the whole part. So all this history will be lost, but still you will be able to use those parts either for printing or further for analysis. Let's say I want to take this into an analysis software, which has someone was asking for some CFD capabilities, which probably Fusion doesn't have. So you can take it using one of these formats, whichever formats that other software takes, and then you can do the further whatever is needed on that. So I think we had a good discussion. So if you have any other queries, and please do not forget to make your own toolkit and submit it so that in the next webinar, we are going to include it. So please join me for the next webinar, which will be on next Tuesday, same time, 3 o'clock. So the link will be sent to you the same way like how it was sent today. And it was very nice being with you all. So I hope we can end this meeting.
There's another question.
Okay,
Can two
sure.
individuals work on same project simultaneously?
See, I'd like to share my screen again. I'm going to share the Fusion screen and I'll show you. So right now you can see in the data panel, you can see S. Can you see in the Superhit toolkit beside that there is an S? There is an S because I'm working on this project. So someone else is also working on this project. So it will show something else. So when I add that person also in this project, simultaneously we can decide and work, but we should be careful with the versions. So when I save, let's say I'm making some changes, right? Let me add something over here. Okay, I have added something. Okay, so when I'm saving, you'll get this option user saved. So here, for your convenience, you can save it with some name so that you can retrieve this file if 2 or 3 people are going to work on the file, right? So I hope that answers your question. Was it your question? You can keep a track of what changes you have done and what the other person has done. Did I answer your question? Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. If you have any further queries, probably I'll try to figure out. Okay. Yeah. So you'll be able to see who is actually working on that file. And while saving, be careful that you're giving the proper version so that you can retrieve and get back to that version whenever you want. Okay. So thanks to everybody for joining me. Do be in touch with the Autodesk Community India, and we'll be seeing you next Tuesday. So thanks to Rishabh, Varun Heta, and Bharat for making this possible.